Strange days indeed, where I would start the day talking about football. Yeah, and this is legitimately something that I am interested in because I've always enjoyed the NFL. When I was a kid, the NFL was something that I eventually got into. I would watch CFL as well. I get this question a lot, like, well, do you watch CFL? I did. I like the Ottawa Rough Riders. That was my favorite team. And as years went along, I got kind of bored with the CFL. I think it's because there's six out of eight, now nine teams that make the playoffs, so it didn't feel like the regular season mattered very much. And then I would watch the NFL, where I thought A, that the athletes were better, and B, that it felt like better teams were needed in order to make the playoffs, and there were more teams, and I liked the variety as well. So I didn't feel like I was watching the same matchups repeatedly, and I know as a Canadian I'm supposed to watch CFL, but here we are. So NFL, Tom Brady playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be weird. 30 million a year though. The one thing I wonder about is, he is 43 and it gets mentioned a lot, and it may seem like, well, that's not really fair and he's still Tom Brady, but the aging process is a thing, and eventually quarterbacks will slow down. And it reminds me of Joe Montana. How Montana moved a couple of times before the end of his career, but we always thought of him as a 49er, at least I did. And I get the feeling that's the reality with Brady as well. It's not going to look right when he's in a Buccaneers jersey. That's just not going to look right at all. And then related, as a Chargers fan, and I've been a long-suffering Chargers fan, well, Drew Brees is staying in New Orleans. So good call by New Orleans on that one, quietly. And then on related news, uh, I I don't know how to feel about the fact that Philip Rivers has moved on now to Indianapolis. It reminds me of, and I'll use a hockey analogy here, when Ray Bourque went to Colorado to win a Stanley Cup. The fact that Rivers never won a championship in San Diego slash LA, to me, is just as criminal as Drew Brees never winning it either. The Chargers, I really don't know what to think about the Chargers as a Chargers fan now. I don't. They were supposed to be a good team this year. Didn't happen. And I wish Rivers the best of luck in Indianapolis. I think he'll play well there, and I think that both Indianapolis and Tampa Bay made the right move. Tampa Bay, I was doing power rankings in the NFL all year this year, and honestly, Tampa Bay had a good season. Now that they've fixed their quarterback issue, they won't have somebody throwing interceptions quite as often. You have a really good offense in Tampa Bay. I think Tom Brady could have a bit of a resurgence here, where his numbers get more into the Tom Brady best years kind of numbers, just because of who he'll be playing with. So, for New England, and they're saying all the right things, and Bill Belichick said all the right things about Brady, and Brady had nothing bad to say about Belichick. So all the fears that there'd be some really nasty divorce between the Patriots and Brady, it didn't really happen. And the rumors that Brady was going to retire, that also didn't happen. But after the fake out he did in the commercial there for a couple of months ago, yeah, he couldn't. You can't actually retire after doing the fake out retire in a commercial. Yeah, you just can't do that. So for Brady, I wish him the best. I think he is the best quarterback I've ever seen. I have time now. I can talk about the best quarterbacks I think I've ever seen in my lifetime and do a list of them, and then we can all have complete and total agreement on them, right? And for Rivers, I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks over the last, I'll say, 20 years. And again, that's a debate we can have. But, hopefully things go well for him in Indianapolis, and hopefully the Chargers figure something out. Get it straight. Because as a long suffering Chargers fan, it has been a long time since this team was not only really good, but playoff ready. Where I've seen teams that have had really good records, even over the last few years, maybe had a good record, and then around playoff time they just fold. And it's been frustrating, and I haven't blamed Rivers for it. I know there are some Charger fans who may have at times blamed Rivers for it. I think there's been some issues with the team, and we'll see if they get that all straightened up in the offseason. So it's already been kind of a crazy free agency in the NFL. And hey, it gives us something to talk about in sports that's happening right now, not just something from 10, 20 years ago. So I wanted to do a video on that first today. Let me know what you guys think. How will Brady perform with the Buccaneers? How will Rivers do with the Indianapolis Colts? Does this help them? I can't see how it hurts Tampa Bay personally, because nothing against Winston, but yeah, Brady's gonna put up less interceptions than Winston did. But let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.